Ever wondered about the 7 deadly sins? You've probably heard of them. Pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. They pop up everywhere, from movies to books to everyday conversations. Right. But have you ever stopped to think about what makes them so deadly? It's not like you'll keel over from a bit of envy, right? So what's the big deal? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. It's a journey into human nature, psychology, and a bit of history. By the end of this, you'll see these sins in a whole new light. First, let's get one thing straight. The 7 deadly sins aren't actually in the Bible, not as a neat little list anyway. The concept was first compiled by a monk named Evagrius Ponticus, way back in the 4th century. He listed 8 evil thoughts, which Pope Gregory I later revised into the 7 we know today. The key word here is deadly, or more accurately, capital. In Latin, capet means head. So these are capital sins because they are the head, the source, from which all other sins flow. They're like the root system of a very nasty tree. They aren't just actions. They're internal states, habits of the heart, that, if left unchecked, can completely poison your life and your relationships. They're called deadly not because they'll kill you instantly, but because they lead to a kind of spiritual death, disconnecting you from others, from your best self, and from any sense of a greater good. Let's start with the big one, the sin that's often called the father of all sins: pride. Pride isn't just about feeling good about an accomplishment. That's healthy. Deadly pride is an excessive belief in your own abilities, an arrogance that interferes with your connection to reality. It's the voice that whispers, "I'm better than everyone else. I don't need anyone. I know everything." This kind of pride makes you unteachable. You can't learn if you think you already know it all. It makes you unwilling to admit fault, which is a recipe for disaster in any relationship, whether it's with your partner, your friends, or your colleagues. Pride isolates you. It builds a wall around you, and eventually you find yourself completely alone, wondering why no one seems to get you. It's deadly because it cuts you off from growth and from human connection, which are 2 of the most essential things for a happy life. It's the ultimate self-sabotage. Next up, greed. Greed is an insatiable desire for more, usually more wealth, status, or power. It's the feeling that you never have enough. No matter how much you acquire, it's just a temporary fix, and the hunger for more returns stronger than before. Greed turns people into objects and relationships into transactions. You start seeing others not as people to connect with, but as resources to be exploited for your own gain. It's a fast track to loneliness and paranoia, and you become suspicious of others' motives, always worried someone is trying to take what's yours. Think of characters like Scrooge before his transformation. He had all the money in the world, but he was miserable, isolated, and feared. Greed promises happiness through possessions, but delivers only emptiness. It's a bottomless pit. Pursuit of more leaves you with nothing of real value. Then there's lust. Now, this one is often misunderstood. Lust isn't about healthy sexual desire or attraction. It's an intense, uncontrolled craving, usually of a sexual nature, that objectifies others. When you lust after someone, you're not seeing them as a whole person with feelings, thoughts, and a soul. You're seeing them as a means to satisfy your own desires. It reduces a complex human being to a single dimension. This is incredibly damaging. It fosters a mindset where people are disposable. It can lead to infidelity, broken trust, and the commodification of human intimacy. It's deadly because it prevents you from forming deep, meaningful, and respectful connections. True connection is built on mutual respect and seeing the whole person, not just a fantasy. Lust destroys the very foundation of genuine love. Now for envy. Envy is not the same as jealousy. Jealousy is the fear of losing something you have. Envy is the bitter resentment you feel towards someone because they have something you want, be it success, looks, or happiness. It's a uniquely destructive emotion because it offers no upside. Unlike ambition, which drives you to achieve, envy just makes you want to see the other person fail. It's a poison you drink, hoping the other person will die. Envy consumes your mental energy. Instead of focusing on your own path and your own growth, you're obsessed with someone else's life. It breeds bitterness and negativity, making it impossible to feel joy, even for your own successes. It's deadly because it traps you in a cycle of comparison and resentment, preventing you from ever being content with who you are and what you have. Let's talk about gluttony. Most people think of gluttony as just overeating, but it's much broader than that. Gluttony is the overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. It could be food, drink, entertainment, information, anything. It's about a lack of self-control and a constant need for stimulation. In our modern world, this is a big one. Think about binge-watching a series for 10 hours straight, or endlessly scrolling through social media feeds. This constant consumption numbs us. It's a way to avoid dealing with our real feelings or our real problems. It's deadly because it makes us passive consumers rather than active creators of our own lives. It dulls our senses, our minds, and our spirits. It's a form of escapism that ultimately disconnects us from the present moment and from ourselves. Next on the list is wrath. Wrath or rage is uncontrolled anger. Of course, anger itself is a normal human emotion. It can be a healthy signal that a boundary has been crossed. But wrath is different. It's anger that has become destructive and vengeful. It's the desire to harm others, to seek revenge, to make someone pay. Wrath blinds you to reason and compassion. When you're in its grip, you can say and do things that cause irreparable damage to your relationships and your reputation. It can escalate conflicts from a simple disagreement to a full-blown war. It's deadly because it burns bridges. It destroys trust and replaces it with fear and resentment. It's an incredibly potent force for destruction, both for the person on the receiving end and for the person consumed by it. Finally, we have sloth. Sloth is often mistaken for simple laziness, but it's more profound. It's a kind of spiritual and emotional apathy. It's a resistance to effort, not just physical effort, but mental and spiritual effort too. It's the IQ and be bothered attitude applied to the most important things in life. Sloth is neglecting your responsibilities, avoiding difficult conversations, and failing to use your talents. It's knowing what you should do, but choosing not to do it because it's hard. It's deadly because it's the sin of omission. It's the life unlived, the potential unrealized. While the other sins are about doing bad things, sloth is about failing to do good things. It leads to a life of stagnation, regret, and quiet desperation. It's letting your life pass you by simply because you couldn't muster the energy to engage with it. So when you look at them all together, you see the pattern. The 7 deadly sins aren't about breaking some ancient arbitrary rules. They are a brilliant map of self-destruction. Each one, in its own way, is a form of isolation. Pride isolates you through arrogance. Greed isolates you through suspicion. Lust isolates you by objectifying others. Envy isolates you in bitterness. Gluttony isolates you in a numb haze. Wrath isolates you through fear and destruction. Sloth isolates you through apathy and inaction. They are deadly because they kill our ability to connect with others, with ourselves, and with life itself. They are the architects of loneliness and misery. The good news? Recognizing them is the first step to overcoming them. These aren't life sentences, they are tendencies. By understanding how pride makes us defensive, how envy makes us bitter, or how sloth makes us stagnant, we can start to consciously choose a different path. We can choose humility over pride, generosity over greed, respect over lust, contentment over envy, mindfulness over gluttony, forgiveness over wrath, and purpose over sloth. It's a lifelong practice, not a one-time fix. But it's the most important work we can do. It's the work of building a life filled with connection, meaning, and true lasting happiness. Thanks for sticking with me through that deep dive. I hope this gives you a new perspective on these ancient concepts. What do you think? Which sin do you see most in the world today? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration of human nature, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.